Hi, it's Sydney from the Daily's Double Shot, and for this week's episode, I visited a few different college homes to bring you guys roommate horror stories.
So my name is Claire Simmons.
I would like to remain anonymous for this.
My name is Cooper McDevitt.
I'd like to remain anonymous for this.
I'm Stephen Peppis.
I would like to remain anonymous for this interview.
I lived in a sorority house when I had the worst roommate of all time.
The worst roommate I ever had, I only had for 2 days.
I lived in Lander Hall last year, and I lived with Jose, who is an international student from Ecuador.
I used to live in a dorm.
And I live in a frat where I have a terrible roommate.
I had this horrible roommate. Let's call him Bill.
And she was super messy with food too. She'd bring a lot of snacks in. They just kind of get everywhere, and you just really don't want to deal with that as a roommate. Also, in the mornings, we kind of had different schedules, and she would be really rude about waking up and being super loud when she was getting ready. She'd turn on all the lights, even though I was obviously still in bed sleeping.
The rest of the time I was dodging the floor from all of his spit, and it was really disgusting. I came back from class, and I just found him passed out in my bed. I'm kind of a neat freak, so that really freaks me out when other people are in my bed. He woke up ready to fight. He tried to wrestle me. Didn't end very well. So the next day, I wake up to him throwing up, and I have never packed up my stuff as fast as I did that day, and I had never seen him since, and I'm really glad.
He cuts his own hair, which is really cool, but he leaves his hair in the toilet, and it doesn't flush it, so people come in and ask, why is there black hair just floating in your toilet? And then he loves using lemons with his cooking, but he doesn't clean up after himself, so he will cut a lemon in half and then leave it on the counter. So we started making him reuse other lemons, but now he has a bag of like 50 half lemons that he has to use.
He never really wore clothes. He kind of sat around in his underwear pretty much most of the time I was there. He was also a drug dealer. A lot of the time he would sell cocaine and Molly through our room, and that made me uncomfortable. After a while, we got along, but after a while I didn't want to live there anymore for obvious reasons. And when I told him I didn't want to, I was thinking about getting a new place, he jokingly wanted to threaten me about it and said, well, if you leave, I'm going to light you on fire. And he held up a lighter and lunged towards me, and it actually caught my sweatshirt that I was wearing on fire. It still has burn marks on it, and I can't wear it anymore. So I packed up my stuff. I told him I was leaving, got my stuff out in a day, and don't talk to him anymore.
Every now and then he'll come in when he's really drunk and decide that it's cool to just take his clothes off and jump in bed while I'm just sitting there on the couch completely sober, and I have to watch this naked guy run across the room. Or I'll wake up after he's walked his girlfriend home the night before, and he'll just be smoking a cigarette on the couch at 8 in the morning, just indoors. Thanks, man, I'm sleeping here.
Now, this was in the dorms, and he thought he was being funny by being annoying as hell, but he wasn't funny at all, and it just got on my nerves. Basically, he would always barge into my room without knocking or anything. He'd punch me when I walked through the door. He would annoy all my friends, and one time we actually got into a fist fight, and the RA had to come in and break it up. He broke through my personal space. He used my things. He stole my food, which was a big no-no. And then, I was speechless because I would tell my RA, and she said she would do something about it, and she did, and he acted like he didn't do anything, and then he'd go back to doing it a day later.
Make sure you pick and choose your roommates wisely. See you next time at the Daily's Double Shot.